Okay, so, everyone's heard that line, right? I have a dream.
Right.
But I feel like so many people, even if they've heard the speech, they haven't really sat with the full text. Like,
Yeah.
they don't know how much power is in that speech.
Yeah.
And all the stuff that's around those famous words,
Absolutely.
especially now, right? With all the voting rights things
Oh,
happen.
totally. It's like we're still grappling with the same issues.
Exactly. So we're diving into, well, you guessed it, Dr. King's I Have a Dream speech today.
It's a big one.
It really is, and there's so much to unpack, even just the setup before the dream part.
Oh, for sure. The context is everything.
Okay, so picture it. August 28th, 1963.
The March on Washington.
Huge crowds, and what are they there for? To finally end segregation, discrimination, the whole thing.
The energy must have been incredible, but also, terrifying for a lot of those folks.
Oh, absolutely. The risks were real, but King gets up there.
With the weight of, like, centuries on him.
I know, right? And the first thing he does, he goes straight back to the Emancipation Proclamation.
100 years to the day from when it was signed.
Like, hey, America, remember this. You promised this.
Unfinished business, he calls it out right away.
And the way he does it, so powerful. That whole bit about coming to cash a check, but it's marked insufficient funds.
Man, that image is burned into my brain.
Mine too. And everyone understands money, right? Makes this huge idea of justice something you can feel.
Exactly. Like America owes this. Not that it can't, but it's choosing not to pay up.
He's putting them on the spot.
Big time.
Yeah.
And you know what? We're still having that conversation today in so many ways.
Are we ever? Promises made, promises not kept, right?
Every single day.
Makes you think, are we any closer to that dream?
Yeah, and it's interesting, too, how he builds on that, He lays out the problem, the broken promise.
Right. Like that sets the stage.
Exactly. And then he kind of flips it, right? Okay, if we could cash this check, what would that world actually look like?
And boom, the dream. But it's not just the words, right? It's the way he delivers those I have a dream lines.
Oh, man. Chills every time.
I know. Like, it gets you in your soul.
Totally. That repetition, it's almost like a drum beat, building and building.
It sucks you in. You can't help but get swept away.
And he's taking you somewhere specific with it. Notice how he mentions Mississippi, Alabama, those places.
Yeah, like he's not shying away from the hardest parts.
Nope. He's saying even here, change is possible, even in the toughest places to imagine.
And those images he uses, red hills of Georgia, that sweltering heat.
You could practically feel it, right?
Totally. It's like he's making you experience it, not just hear about it.
Because it's about appealing to something deeper, right?
Yeah.
Everyone wants that freedom, that equality he's talking about.
Totally. That line about being judged by the content of their character.
Timeless, man.
But, and here's the thing, he doesn't leave you floating in the clouds, It's not just, let's all dream and that's it.
Oh, no. He gets real about the work involved.
Right. He calls them out, the veterans of creative suffering.
Acknowledging their pain, but saying, we got to keep going.
Exactly. This dream, it demands action, and it just hits you, The way he talks about meeting, like, hate with love, basically.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That whole soul force thing.
Right. Like, even when he's telling people to fight, it's got to be from this different place,
Absolutely. It's about rising above, not stooping to that same level.
And that's what gets me about the ending. That image of everyone singing together, all God's children.
Oh, man. Gives me chills just thinking about it.
Right. It's like this huge, beautiful vision of what's possible.
But it doesn't let us off the hook either,
So?
Because it's a challenge. It's saying, yeah, this is the dream, but we got to build that world.
It's on us, not just something that'll magically happen.
Exactly. We can't just snap our fingers and be like, okay, we're all united now.
Right. Like, even today, it feels so far off sometimes.
And that's why this speech still matters. It's a reminder. Progress isn't this straight line,
More like one step back for every two forward.
Sadly, yeah. We got to earn it every generation. Stand up, speak out, do the work.
King called it creative suffering, remember?
Exactly. Because it's going to be hard. But we got to ask ourselves, what are we willing to fight for?
What mountains of despair are we facing now?
Right. And what are we going to do about it? That's what makes King's legacy so powerful. It's a call to action for all of us.
So well said. This speech, it just stays with you,
It really does.
Thanks for diving into this with me. Always amazing to revisit these words, especially now.
Couldn't agree more. Thanks for having me.
And to everyone listening, until next time, keep those conversations going. We got to keep learning, keep pushing for that better world. See you all on the next deep dive.